I was a top-tier Hollywood actress, the kind that turned heads on red carpets and graced magazine covers. But behind the glamour, I had been the secret lover of Damian Sterling, the billionaire CEO and obsessive alpha male who ruled his empire with an iron fist for 6 long years. Everyone whispered that I was shameless for clinging to my possessive sugar daddy. But in the dead of night, it was this dominant mafia boss who pinned me against the wall in his luxurious New York penthouse, his touch a mix of punishment and possession, whispering that I was his little wife, his to ruin forever. The world saw me as a trophy, but in our marriage of convenience that started as enemies to lovers, with an age gap that only fueled his jealousy and revenge fantasies, he treated me like his pregnant heir's mother-to-be, his grumpy sunshine in a dark romance filled with forced proximity and touch her and die threats. The story unfolded in the scorching heat of a film set in the desert, where I, Anastasia Steele, known as Anna to those close, played the vase-like beauty, the pampered starlet backed by Fuji Group's billionaire CEO. I lounged under a shaded canopy, sipping iced tea from a crystal glass, munching on gourmet snacks, watching the lead actress scream her lines at the male lead about love lost. My friend, a fellow actress with her own possessive gold mine of a backer, handed me a chilled latte, chatting about how my dominant partner allowed me to guest star as the male lead's white moonlight ex. She envied my freedom, but I just smirked, explaining that my obsessive alpha male, Damian, didn't micromanage my side gigs, even if he was a mafia boss with a luxury lifestyle that included private jets and Italian villas. As the scene wrapped, the director approached politely, reminding me of my upcoming lines. I gave him a thumbs up, assuring him that despite my spoiled ways, I was professional. Another actress, a rising starlet with her own funding clout, sauntered by in a pure white gown, scoffing lightly. My friend noticed, whispering about our old rivalry from 6 years back when I was a struggling extra, slapping her in a scene that went wrong 10 times. That's when Damian, the billionaire CEO, swooped in like a hero, his possessive nature kicking in during what felt like a forced marriage setup. He invested in the film, giving me a chance that the director misinterpreted, leading to that fateful night where we locked eyes in silence on silk sheets in his penthouse, our bodies entangled in a dark romance of jealousy and dominance. The rival actress overheard our gossip and sneered from her entourage of assistants fanning her and touching up her makeup in extravagant style. She muttered about women who relied on looks alone, warning that beauty fades and love follows, especially for those thinking they're secure with a gold digger status. My friend defended me, but the rival pushed further, calling me a mere plaything pretending to be high class. Tensions rose until the director called action. I stood, smoothing my crimson desert princess outfit, waist baring, shoulder exposing, with red veils cascading to my ankles, bells tinkling on wrists and feet like Cartier jewels. The wind machines blew, creating an ethereal red blur against the sands, my character gazing longingly at the male lead. Then came the death scene wired for a fall into his arms. But after 8 takes, it was clear sabotage. The male lead, a rising idol currying favor with the rival who funded her role, let me drop repeatedly. I smiled coolly, warning him to stop, but he feigned apologies. My friend yelled from the sidelines about his incompetence. On the final take, he tugged my veil, leaving me disheveled on the mat. The rival laughed mockingly, provoking my friend to rush over and help me up, confronting them both. Chaos erupted as the crew stirred, and suddenly the air shifted. Damian Sterling, the possessive husband and billionaire CEO, arrived unannounced, his presence commanding like a mafia boss in a tailored suit. He demanded an explanation, his voice cool and dominant. Wrapping me in his warm jacket, covering my exposed skin, he scooped me up possessively, declaring the male lead replaced. He'd handled the fallout with his connections. In his arms, I felt, realizing this obsessive alpha male was here to claim his territory, his your mind vibe radiating. Back at the hotel suite overlooking the city, he placed me gently on the plush sofa, his calloused fingers grazing my waist where bruises bloomed from the wires. I shrank back, unaccustomed after our recent distance, But the reflection in the floor-to-ceiling windows showed my disheveled red attire, his jacket slipping to reveal pale collarbones. We hadn't been intimate in ages, my lips parting at the thought, but I warned him not to ruin the costume. He asked if it hurt, his lashes casting shadows, voice complex about our time apart. I downplayed the bruises, changing the subject to why he came without notice. He frowned, noting I hadn't planned to tell him. Our dynamic had shifted. Early on, I'd share every set story in his New York penthouse, his eyes softening with rare smiles. Now an itch of 7 years lingered, despite no other women. As his little wife in this enemies to lovers tale, I smiled, tugging his sleeve, offering to bake him mousse cake back home. His gaze softened, pinching my cheek, calling my smile forced. Then, shockingly, this globe-trotting billionaire CEO announced he'd stay, no more travels, to spend time with me in our luxury lifestyle. She's mine. Every breath she takes belongs to me. No one else gets to bruise her but me, in our private red room of punishment and pleasure. Perched on the villa's sofa in our Italian-inspired estate, munching cut fruit from silver platters, I watched him cook in the gourmet kitchen, doubting if this possessive husband was real or body-snatched. Texting my friend, I vented about our Cold War. 2 months of silence, though he still called daily from private jets and showered me with resources. She called it one-sided, envying my setup compared to her own backer, a director with 8-pack abs but less heart. Damien overheard, snatching my phone, smirking at my praise of another man while he slaved over dinner. Guilty, I shrank as he teased about his own physique, his voice low and dominant, ear burning in the daylight. My phone buzzed with my friend's explicit suggestion to test if he'd changed, and his gaze darkened meaningfully. I burrowed into blankets, avoiding his heat, but he just rubbed my hair, calling me to eat. 6 years, and I still couldn't read this obsessive alpha male. Did he see me as submissive toy or heir-bearing wife? Back on set, gossiping with my friend about our gold mines, she dreamed of ditching hers for someone like Damien, who'd make her pregnant with heirs in a marriage of convenience. I warned her as her backer appeared, yanking her aside for a lesson. The Shadow Emperor, a top actor, greeted me, joking that Damien paid too handsomely to refuse replacing the male lead. Recalling Damien's cool declaration to swap him, hugging me tight. With the new co-star's skill and guidance, my scenes flew by perfectly, the rival silenced. The director celebrated my rap with confetti, but I pouted at leaving my friend. He consoled that my character's death was noble. Damien arrived to pick me up, his assistant distributing lattes and gifts to the crew. Draping his jacket over me again, he thanked everyone, his mafia boss aura revealing he was my backer, the billionaire CEO pampering his possessive husband role. Eyes widened around us, whispers of Fuji Group's top dog personally spoiling me. In the Maybach limo, I leaned back tiredly, scrolling Twitter absent-mindedly, landing on a post analyzing my vase status and backer rumors, including the male lead swap. Speculation ranged from my beauty snagging an oily old man to salting my talent. Damien took my phone, promising to handle it. I tentatively asked him not to pick me up publicly anymore. Silence fell in the dim cabin. He questioned if I hit our bond. Trapped against the seat, his breath on my ear, he kissed my neck, voice husky. 6 years, and still no announcement? Did I find him unworthy? My heart pounded at the official talk, stammering. His fingers grazed my back, pulling me close, murmuring about making me his rich wife. Shocked, I fled that night, packing for a variety show gig, questioning if we were just actress and sugar daddy or something more in this dark romance. On the variety show Inside Out, a reality proving actors' skills, I scanned the script, spotting my friend and rival. My friend surprised me, admitting Damien paid big to join, ensuring I wasn't alone. Head aching from our tangled age gap dynamic, she assured fairness, no rigging. Drawing lots, I paired with the rival for a slap-heavy sister feud scene. Per family rules, I approached for rehearsal. She rolled eyes, demanding redraws, but the director refused. Sighing, I followed to the practice room. After an afternoon perfecting fake slaps, We emerged to see Damien and his director friend striding by in crisp suits, collars open casually. He brushed past without acknowledgement, leaving me stunned. The rival mocked my fall from grace, claiming bedroom tricks don't last. I retorted about her own sugar daddy, an oily sponsor, pointing to her ringing phone, likely him. She stormed off in heels. In my hotel room, pondering his coldness, the door yanked open, pulling me inside. Back against the door, his protective hand behind my head. He kissed me with wine-scented dominance, our breaths unsteady in the dark. He asked if he'd performed well, pretending not to know me. Realizing it was an act, I pushed playfully. He straightened my collar, low-voiced about when I'd announce us. Confused, I blurted we were just transactional. Resources for intimacy, a full-color deal. Air froze. He called my name darkly, asking if that's all I saw. He slammed out. Slumped by the window, neon lights blurring, I recalled our start, no clear labels, just his protection in Hollywood's shadows. He shielded me flawlessly, his mafia boss revenge keeping threats at bay. My friend arrived with plum wine, sharing her own mix-up with her backer, thinking he wanted cash when it was romance. Lightning struck Damien's bed-edge question years ago. Was it a proposal, not packaging? She hugged me as memories flooded, of setups, drugs, parties where I narrowly escaped. Had I projected dirtiness onto him? The show recording began. The rival arrived on her sponsor's arm, his greasy hand on her waist. I ignored his handshake attempt, recalling our familiarity. He leered, implying past knowledge from seedy events. I fled to makeup, my friend joining, venting about her backer as judge. The rival sneered silently. First up, in white dresses, we performed under glaring lights, spotting Damien in the front row. Her lines accused shamelessness. I trembled vulnerably. Music swelled for the slap, but hers landed real, flooring me. Silence, tears stung from pain. Enraged, I lunged, escalating the fight beyond script, tugging hair, pinching. Curtain fell. Staff helped us up. My face burned. She clutched her waist and scalp, accusing madness. I retorted mutual. Rejecting aid, I demaked, iced my cheek, phone silent from Damien. Knox came. Expecting him, I opened to the sponsor's oily grin, wanting to reminisce. I refused, slamming the door on his foot and head as he forced in. He yelped, threatening blacklisting with old dirt, drugs, bed sent to. Chilled, I recalled fleeing extras after rejecting him, scraping by. Damien appeared at corridor's end, godlike in shadow, carrying meds and dinner. Standing beside me, he glared down, ordering the man away. The sponsor mocked Damien's infatuation, spilling vile tales of my past. Parties, setups, near misses, even being drugged to his bed once, though nothing happened. Memories crashed. I bit my tongue numb. Damien gripped my hand warmly, handing me bags, rubbing my head weight outside obediently. I nodded, sitting on carpet munching crystal dumplings as he emerged, gently rubbing ointment on my bruises, voice muffled about restraint. Not storming the stage, not killing. His cool fingers on my cheek asked if it hurt. Panicked, I downplayed, joking about the rival's pain from my scratches and hair pulling. Good for sympathy sales. He pulled me into his chest, murmuring he'd wait for announcement if unwilling. Recalling eavesdropping on his drinks with the director. Him silent, called foolish for not clarifying. Drunk, he'd grumbled about marrying, not packaging. On the blanket, I smiled, hooking his hand official Red Book style. He trembled, staring incredulously. I kissed his lip corner so, an ounce? His arms tightened, yes. Predictably, the rival hospitalized, tweeted misery, fans attacking me. I posted bruised pics, tagging her dedication, praising realism. Directors released footage showing her instigation. Mysteriously, her sponsor video leaked, topping headlines. She withdrew, then slandered me as gold-digging bus. Sighing, I pulled our marriage certificate, his hidden smile in the photo. Before posting, Fuji's official account announced with our cert boss lady, hello. Congrats flooded from empires. Entertainment accounts detailed our 6-year dark romance run, photos hoarded. My inbox exploded. I tweeted simply married. Fans clipped my talent amid scandals. My friend messaged late bridesmaid? I grinned yes. In Damien's extra before Anna, this billionaire CEO never imagined love at first sight. Seeing her slapped 10 times yet persisting, tears brimming, he fell. When directors sent her to his bed, he asked consent, moonlit winds gentle.